everybody, it's me, your girl Shaunda Savvy. As you know, I did just comb out my locks, and so I wanted to give you guys some tips on how you can make that an easy process for you as well.
Look, make your plans to Shaunda, the online slayer. Leave a comment, sure to welcome all haters. Like a dislike, she still gonna keep it radar and move on to the next. So keep her on your radar. Now keep on watching and you can learn a little more. Hit subscribe and then like, leave a comment below.
So the first thing that I want to let you know about before you comb out your locks is to be mentally ready and make sure that you bring a lot of patience. It took me 5 days to comb out these locks, and that time frame is different for almost everybody. I know for some people they stay up all night long, so it'll take about a day and a half. And then there's other people that take about 3 weeks or more. It really just depends on, how much you're able to do. So make sure you set some time aside so that way, just in case you need to take a break, you can. Another thing you don't want to do is stress out from breaking combs like I did. I only bought one of the pintail combs, and let me show you exactly what that looks like. So things that I used actually was I used a huge tub of conditioner. I used detangler, and I also used a bunch of water, spray water. As far as tools that I needed, I used I used pintail combs. So these are the pintail combs. I've washed them, so can you see it? There we go. It has a metal tip. That is what you use to stick into the lock and bring it on out. So I went through about 4 or 5 of these combs. So make sure you buy at least a few. And then I use this also just as a backup to help me at the end to detangle. And this helped me avoid breaking about 10 of these. So that is what happened with me. Now also, just when you are locking, I want to give you some extra tips. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start at the ends and work your way through. If your lock is butted at the end of that lock, take your time. Basically, you really want to saturate it with the detangler and the conditioner. Make sure it's soaked. The wetter and the more soaked with conditioner it is, the smoother the process is, and you'll feel it. You'll feel when your hair needs more conditioner, okay? Don't be afraid. No, saturate that bad boy. Soak it in the conditioner. It's gonna make it easier for you. Now, as you're going, you might feel some tugs. Some of those tugs you're gonna need to break through with your pintail comb, okay? You're gonna need to break through those tugs, and that's okay. Now, sometimes you're gonna find bigger tugs. What I suggest is sometimes a lot of people like to pull their pintails through the middle. Sometimes that's not always the case when you're bringing out your locks, when you're breaking them down. So what you'll want to do is go through the sides and kind of work on it piece by piece. So that way you can slowly break it through, okay? So that'll be an easier way for you. For me, I will admit that my patience kind of got to me a couple of times. So for some of my locks, I cut off the bare tip because the tips were the hardest things for me to get loose. Now, there is some problems with doing that because what I did find out is that actually your hair is, let's say it's like this. So sometimes like when the bud is at the bottom, your hair is really wrapped up like that. And so you're really bringing it all the way out, It's not always just straight down. It's really like wrapped up in there all kinds of ways. I hope you really understand that. I hope I didn't confuse you, but let's move on. So another thing that you should watch out for is the mess. Oh my gosh, it is so messy. Y'all, oh, I thought I had a hairball on me now. So I'm so used to having hairballs all over me that I'm just not used to not having them anymore. There were so many hairballs everywhere, y'all. There were hairballs everywhere. I started off with a towel on me. That towel ended up on the floor trying to catch hairballs. It's just gonna be really messy. I mean, all the products that I used, this was coated in conditioner, dirt for my hair. Everything that I touched was filthy. So just keep that in mind. It's a very messy process. Another good tip is actually, if you're able to, you should request help. Get a friend, a sibling, a parent, somebody, if you're able to. I didn't have any help. I didn't ask for any help. But on some days, I wish that I probably would have asked for help. It is a really messy process, so ask somebody that won't mind getting through all that junk and mess. But it'll make the process so much smoother. So some things that physically happened to me during this process is my hands were raw. So you know your hands are pretty much soaked during this whole time because you're touching the conditioner, the water, the detanger, all that. So my hands were all wrinkled from all the moisture, but they were also really sore from constantly using the pintail comb and poking myself, things like that. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the things that might slow you down. Now, I did start to speed up. The quickest that I maybe got one lockout was about 20 minutes. It would take me between 20 minutes to about 30 minutes each lock to get that undone. So that's what my experience was with that. Something that you may not expect is split ends. I do have quite a few split ends. I expected that though, because I saw split ends whenever I had my locks. A lot of my locks still had the loose ends on the bottom. So I saw a lot of split ends already. But yes, split ends is something that you may have. Also, you will lose a lot of hair. And of course, it's because you've collected a lot of dead hair along the way. And I actually saved the hair so you guys can see it. Let me get that for you. So I don't want to pull it all the way out, but I'm pretty much going to show you the little baggie. It's a little baggie. I collected all the hair and it's so disgusting, y'all, but this is full of hair. This is all the hair that I lost. I hope that's a normal amount of hair. I still have a lot of hair left on my head though, guys, so I'm guessing that this is a normal amount. Well, also because you're doing a lot to your hair, getting a little rough with it, you know, it's really good to deep condition it right after. So I deep conditioned my hair. And then after that, I actually put some grease and oils in my hair just to keep it moist. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to keep it moisturized because that used to actually be one of my issues of why I took out my locks. Now I know some people said that their scalp was sensitive after they combed out their locks. I didn't have that issue at all. The reason why I mainly wanted to comb out my locks is because I wasn't properly taking care of them. And I'm actually so glad that I did, because one thing that I used to do a lot is I used to wash my locks and then I would just let them hang and air dry. I see a problem with that. For me, at least, for some of my thicker locks, while combing them out, I could smell like, kind of like an ammonia smell. It didn't smell good. It smelled as if like I had left them wet and maybe it mildewed a little. So I'm thinking that maybe that's what was happening to my scalp, because under my locks, and I'm not saying this happens for everybody, but for me, under my locks, while I was collecting really bad dandruff, my skin was not reacting properly, and I just knew I needed to cut out these locks and take care of my hair. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my hair. I'm going to start properly taking care of my hair. So I would love for you guys to come on this journey with me. Make sure you comment, like, make sure you subscribe so that way you can follow this journey along with me. Once again, my name is Shaunda Savvy. I hope I answered some of your questions or gave you some insight on better ways of combing out your locks. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I thank you guys for watching. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me, and I really appreciate that. Love you guys. Bye.